Good afternoon, everyone, from Mobile, Alabama. Today I wanted to talk about those who are on the spiritual path and trying to cultivate themselves, but at times when they fail or do not get a concept, they beat themselves up, or they're very hard on themselves and they feel disappointed. So for us, we've been here in Mobile, Alabama for about 3 days. We're here to run some retreats and classes. But before this, we came from the Georgia Meditation Center in Atlanta, Georgia. In one of our classes, one of the students, she shared her story about forgiveness. And her question was that she's been on this spiritual path and working on forgiveness for a couple years. And she thought she forgave the person, and she's been working very hard at this. But she noticed that any time that group is around, that person is around, she still has these harsh feelings that comes up. And then she started to cry. And she was crying because she was so disappointed in herself because she thought that she grasped this idea. She's been working such a long time on this and thought that she passed this. So why then, when this situation arises, why do I still have bad feelings? Why do I still have negative feelings? And for her, she just was crying because she said it was more of a disappointment. And a disappointment in herself that she thought she was better than that. And for me, this is the topic that I wanted to address because it's very common. One of the things that we need to recognize is that when we are trying to change ourselves, when we're trying to change our habits, we're trying to get rid of things that are not healthy for us. And also at the same time, we're trying to collect healthy habits. We're trying to collect healthy patterns, healthy characteristics, healthy perfections such as wisdom, such as forgiveness, such as kindness, such as endurance and patience. But these kind of things, what people are missing is that it comes in layers. And what Buddhism does so well is that it's a spiral and it's a continuation. It's not a one-stop shop where you can in one session then learn this intellectually and then integrate it into you. It doesn't work that way, but it's a refinement process, and you need to grasp it intellectually first. You need to integrate it into yourself and then keep going over and over and over until it gets deeper, until it fully integrates into you. And what we're missing, people who are on this path and trying to integrate these things, is that there's a level. And I'll just share, and I'm just making up a number, but let's imagine when it comes to generosity, there's a scale of 1 to 100. And maybe at this moment, you're just 13. And we see the level of generosity, the level of compassion, the level of forgiveness is not the same in everyone. And it's how mature you can really grasp this, how much you can fully integrate this. And this is the process. So don't think that, okay, check mark. I'm done, I'm patient, and I'm good. Check this off, complete, and let's go on to the next. But no, all these things you're working on simultaneously, and you're doing it over and over. You're developing more wisdom, and again, you're gaining more depth. And an example for us in the monastery is that every single time, as a new monk, we meditate 4 times a day. And at the end of each meditation, we get more still. Hopefully, you get more still. And in this stillness, for us then, we share loving kindness to ourselves first, We share then this loving kindness, and we expand it to cover our neighbors, to cover everyone in the room, to cover the city, to cover the world, but it keeps getting bigger. We also do this regarding forgiveness, and we spread this to cover ourselves. We cover our loved ones, our friends and family, and then we cover even your enemies. Yeah, and this is the hard part, because by the time you get to people who have hurt you, people who have wronged you, you try to spread this goodwill to them, but okay, I still feel like I'm faking it. I fully don't forgive them. I'll say it, I'll imagine it, but there's still a resistance, and this is normal, and it happens in the beginning. So we do this after every meditation. Every meditation, spread loving kindness, spread forgiveness to yourself and others, over and over and over and over again. And each time you don't even see the effects, and you may think that you're just faking it. So okay, fine, fake it if you need to, and keep doing and keep doing. This is what they teach us. And then suddenly, somewhere in the process, somewhere along the line, you notice that this harshness that you have lessens. Then you genuinely want the person that may not be in the best of terms with you to genuinely have peace, to genuinely be free of ill will. And slowly in this session, then you forgive them an ounce, and then you go again, and then you go again, and the next session you forgive them another ounce, and this repeats over and over until fully you start to integrate it into yourself, to the point where you start to feel it, to the point where you actually start to mean it, to the point where you actually start to make good wishes for them and on their behalf, and you want nothing but the best for them. But all of these things, like I said, all these characteristics and qualities, patience, there is a level for patience, and there's a ginormous level of another level of patience that we may not even know of. And an example that comes to my mind that the West is familiar with is like a Dali Lama. And to have someone who was exiled and kicked out of his country, his people were murdered and a lot of bad things happened to him, and still he can practice compassion to those who have done this to him. That is on a whole new level. So again, the spectrum of compassion is wide, and for us is we're trying to get it as deep and as possible. We're trying to mature it fully, and it's a work in process, and it can take you a whole lifetime just to get a certain amount. But more importantly, why I wanted to share this is so that you can know the process, and that when you know that is a maturity and it's a cycle where you have to keep churning and keep practicing over and over, then you're not so hard on yourself. Know that it's a refinement and it's a cleaning process. That's why for us as Buddhist monks, we always hold our 227 precepts or rules. We do our meditation, and then we cultivate the wisdom. And with that wisdom, we clean over and over and over again. And in the beginning, as a new monk, I didn't understand why are we doing this so much. And now, sitting here many years later, I can see that it wasn't an intellectual process, but it was a process of cleaning, of purifying the mind, and that it takes time. And when you learn one new thing, when you integrate one new thing that levels you up, And now the mechanism inside of you matures, and you got to fix everything else, and all of that has to align. All of that has to mature as well, and you keep growing spiritually. So for anyone who is brave enough and anyone who has the courage, I say be gentle, be kind, be compassionate to yourself, and know that it takes time. It's a long process, and you're each day cultivating these characteristics and quality, whether you know it or not. So just put your head down, keep going, keep doing the work, and it will all make sense soon. But hopefully that is helpful to you. So with that, just wishing you all the best, sending you my regards and my blessing, and may you all be safe, happy, and healthy out there. Satu.